Hello everyone, I'm Anthony Gallegos alongside Mitch Dyer.
I'm going to learn to space.
And we're going to try and do a series of videos here where we teach Mitch how to play Kerbal Space Program. A lot of people have complained that it's a pretty hard game to get into, high barrier to entry.
Yes.
And I will say that that is true, and it was true even previously, but now there are training and scenarios.
We're not going to do that, though.
Right,
Anthony's going to guide me.
Right. So you can click training real quick. Like, we won't actually do it,
Alright,
but I'm just saying
show.
it will teach you flight basics, construction basics, orbiting.
Helpful. Okay.
Even teach you how to get to the moon. Right. So there's that is really valuable stuff. But there's enough in here that I've learned that I think it'll be more fun for me to kind of walk you through it.
Okay.
Yeah, scenarios are like bad things have happened.
Yeah,
and here's how you can handle it, right?
Different instances of problem solving.
Yeah.
So are we resuming or are we starting fresh?
We can start new.
Well, okay.
Just say, yeah, sandbox, because there's no career mode yet. This is part of Steam's early access, so, you know, it's not a finished game. So there are bugs.
Yeah, it's got a few problems. I mean, we did a commentary before, and it was a little rough, but still.
So when you get into the game, you have 4 options.
I literally don't understand what I'm looking at.
One is a hangar. Obviously, the one that looks like a hangar.
Yeah.
That's where you build airships. You don't want to do that. Or planes. Launch pad, which is where you're going to launch things. The satellite dish is the space center where you can track flights you have in progress. Like if sometimes you'll send a rocket up and not touch it for a long time.
Okay.
And then obviously the other one's your spaceship hangar where you actually.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's pre-made ships if you wanted to launch one.
We don't want to do that.
No,
we want to build. Today we're going to build. Step 1 is build. We need to build.
Step 1 is build.
Elementary basics.
So hit cancel and
rockets.
click on this the building in the center there. And now we will go. And so the first step of any spacecraft is you have to pick what is the core of it.
Okay.
So
we have all of these different prices.
These are cockpits, right? And these actually have various crews. And then once you get past the second tier, that's all unmanned. That's if you wanted to build like an unmanned probe, a satellite.
Sure. So we want manned.
Well, it is funnier to kill people in this game than not. So
sometimes you're just a monster.
The first 2 cockpits and even the third one are very much geared towards more plane-oriented shapes.
Okay.
If you wanted something that's more like a traditional shuttle space rocket, you would do the second tier. And my personal opinion, since we're building your first rocket, we'll do the middle one.
Okay, so we are going to build a rocket proper.
A proper rocket. The middle one.
The middle one's good?
Yeah, that only has a crew of 1. So your first rocket, we're not going to put...
We're not going to feel as bad.
We're not going to put so many lives in jeopardy.
All right, okay.
So the first thing when you...
Look at all these pieces, man.
Yeah.
This is overwhelming.
There's several tabs, too.
There are tabs.
So...
Jesus.
It is a little overwhelming, but it's actually really nice because you'll see how flexible it can be.
All right, so this is... The way I want to do this is I want you to advise what I'm looking at, but not what it means.
Okay.
This is going to be a trial by fire.
Okay.
Probably literally. So a lot of fire.
The 3 things any rocket needs to at least get up in the air is you need a command pod, which you have.
Okay, that's this thing here.
You need fuel.
Got it.
And you need some sort of propulsion system.
Got it.
Beyond that, parachutes, all those sorts of things.
Yep.
Those aren't necessary for flight.
Okay. Okay.
So if you look at the tabs up at the top, you have propulsion. It's separated into things like propulsion.
Gotcha.
And whatnot.
So fuel tanks, all sorts of different fuel tanks.
Right. So you see a ton of stats on there, like it tells you its weight. You know, these are things that you want to keep in mind. Certain fuel tanks are also made for airplanes, which means that they don't have oxygen, like they aren't oxygenated. So for instance, in space, fuel cannot burn. Like normal gas would never burn because it needs oxygen.
No oxygen.
Right. So rocket fuel is made with oxygen in it already. So if you were to put plane fuel on there, it would work for a while, and then once you hit
burn out in space,
you would just burn out. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So it makes sense.
Those are control features. Those kind of help you automate some of the controls to make a ship slightly more manageable.
Okay.
Structural does a lot of what you think it would, right? Helps you reinforce things.
I feel like this is our next step, right? Because we need a fuselage. We need somewhere for the ship to exist.
I mean, you could literally just put a decoupler ring. So decouplers, if you're not familiar with it, that's exactly what you see on rockets all the time, where you see chunks of the ship fall away because they use it for the initial rocket launch. So if you want it eventually, you know.
We're going to get a decoupler. Oh, this is new, the little green orb thing.
No, it's been there.
Has it?
Yeah. So it just snaps right there to the bottom. Click.
So we have one.
So now.
Oh, God, what have I done?
Yeah, that's how you move around, which is fine.
Cool.
So at this point, what you would have is if you were to attach a rocket to or whatever at the very end, you would decouple and you would have just your command pod returning back to Kerbin, that's the planet's called.
We're going to get a fuselage. I feel like I would like one of those.
A structural fuselage, that one has no fuel in it, though. It's literally just structural, which is fine if you're just trying to, you know, make a shape. So if you want to move the whole rocket, you always click the command pod. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then mouse scroll to go up.
I'm learning. Okay, we got there. Okay,
Yeah.
because I worry this is gonna be too big. All right, so we have that.
All right, so now we actually need fuel though to actually power it.
okay,
So go back to propulsion.
Propulsion.
Those
So
fuel tanks are huge.
Okay.
So you're probably going to want something like...
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. That works. So if you ever want to change the way like that, Mitch, you click down here at the bottom or hit X to change the symmetry, and it'll, auto-populate with like a bunch of rockets, potentially.
So many fuels.
You can only do up to 8 around, but it would probably have a hard time doing it. So yeah, you could just do something like...
I think it's freaking out
Move
already.
down a little bit.
There we go.
It didn't like being hooked up on the decoupler.
No. Let's throw these here. This is going to be the worst rocket.
Yeah, and so you have symmetry mode turned on, or snap to angle, which is good, because that way it kind of keeps them... There you go. All right. So
Perfect. Let's launch.
Okay, well, you need engines, though.
We're not going to launch.
So you need engines on top of the fuel if you actually want it to launch.
So I need the fuel engine. We just need to make sure it's not liquid fuel, right? We need
No, liquid fuel's fine, because that's what you have.
What are the things to look for when I'm looking at these? What am I looking for to not use for this particular aircraft?
I mean, when you're designing rockets, you'll look at the max engine power. You'll look that whether it requires oxidizer, which this one does.
That's what we need, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so...
These are all fairly level.
And you'll look at things like, eventually, when you're doing more advanced rocket designs, you'll look at things like mass.
Whoa.
So that's a mainsail engine. That's made for much larger rockets than you have.
What? Okay.
You could put that on there. You could, but it would eat through your fuel in probably like 200 meters.
All right, so that's not far.
No. It's overkill. But that first one, yeah,
there we go.
That one's fine.
So do we want these on the bottom of the fuel tanks?
Yes.
So the fuel goes into these things. Look at the integrity of this thing. This thing is trash.
Right here, what you have, you could launch that. That is launchable.
Yes. However, I would almost certainly not succeed.
Well, it might get off the ground, but your guys would definitely die considering they don't have a parachute currently.
All right.
Like, they have no safe way for re-entry.
Okay. I also am thinking maybe another fuselage would be helpful.
No. That's the wrong piece. Honestly, though, instead of doing fuselage, Mitch, what I would recommend doing is, like, click on that.
This fuel tank?
Yes.
Okay.
And drop that
in the middle.
Right underneath. There you go.
So my worry here
is
that these thrusters might light that thing on fire.
No. It won't ever light on fire. Thrusters can damage things underneath them, but the side of a fuel tank like that should be fine.
Okay, so this fuel tank that I just added, will that add fuel to these thrusters I have, or should I connect it to another one?
You could have it add to those thrusters, but you would need to add fuel lines.
Okay, well, I don't want to do that, but for future reference, what's a fuel line? Is that this
It's
thing?
that, yeah. So the only thing when you're doing fuel lines, you need to pay attention to the direction you're going. So the first place you click is where it will be feeding from, and then you click to where you want it to feed to. And so the game naturally kind of did the symmetry to where it did the 3 that you want.
That doesn't look right.
No, it's not. It's not actually connected to the fuel tanks. Sometimes it messes up, and then you just have to redo it and make sure that it connects up to the fuel tanks. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. So that would actually now feed from that center tank to those 3 to give them a longer life.
All right. As it stands, that's not what I'm thinking right now. That's not my dream.
Okay, I want to see the rocket that you want to build. My biggest thing that I always encourage anybody with Kerbal Space Program to do is build a rocket that you like, and if it fails, move on from there.
Sure. Which is good advice. Are these the only 3 engines here?
As far as like smaller rocket engines?
Oh, look at that. That looks like a nightmare. That's not going to end well. We're going to skip that.
Yeah. If you
we throw a jet engine on there?
That would be a terrible idea.
Really?
Yeah.
Would that just eat through all the fuel?
Jet engines they're not made to thrust up in the same way that I would say just another one of the engines that we used previously.
Little baby guy?
Yeah.
Just one?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You're the boss.
I mean, this could launch right now and probably do okay.
What is this little guy?
What did you click?
This thing here.
Oh, that's a tiny little engine. You don't actually want those. Those are used more for like
rovers.
Very fine maneuvers on small, very tiny craft.
Which we are not there yet at all.
So at this point,
whoa! Look at that fuel tank.
You're getting way ahead of yourself.
All right.
That's like the type of thing that you would put when you're like trying to get like extra way outside of the. Okay. Well.
Now we're talking.
Now you're building a nightmare.
All right. Sorry. Carry on.
At this point, I would say we could probably launch it, but we should go to the utilities function.
I was going to poke around the aerodynamic stuff too, but maybe this is just better reserved. Oh, look how awesome that is. Bah!
Sure.
I mean, that probably will not help me whatsoever.
Well, it'll help you do small adjustments.
Circular intake?
Nah, that's only for jet engines because obviously jet engines need oxygen intake, so
right.
those kind of help you get intake.
We can get a sweet nose cone.
Yeah, you can help.
Does that help?
At this point, I don't think the aerodynamic functions are fully in, but it still looks sweet.
Okay, we're gonna stick with that. Radial engine body.
No, that's again for jets.
Yes.
At this point, I would say you don't need anything from here.
Sorry, Anthony. This is my dream.
Okay. No.
No, you're right. We're just gonna stick with this one.
Okay. So.
Okay.
You should.
To the utility
yes.
we go. All right.
So utility is where you get things like that for more fine functions, like batteries or landers, wheels. But in your case, you're going to want to probably click that orange one.
Oh, the parachute.
Yes.
So this parachute.
Oh, actually, it's the wrong one. The white one. Sorry. I very rarely work with rockets so small.
So this is for when we come back or land on the moon. We want to basically what's going to be left is just this pod after we decouple from here. Or will the decoupler come with us?
No.
Okay, so it'll be just this little pod, and then we'll shoot down.
Yeah.
Parachute down. Okay. Anything else we need?
Just
parachutes.
No.
What are these?
Oh, those are wheels for rovers.
What if we landed? And what if we have a bad landing? We need to roll around on the moon on this.
I just want you to realize, like, I'm not trying to shatter your dreams by any means, but there's no way this rocket will even make orbit. But that's okay.
All right. Well,
it's your first
that's
launch.
What we're learning. It's not even going to make orbit?
I doubt it.
Well, now you've got me thinking about how I'm going to improve this, because I've got ideas now. Here we go. This is how this is going to go, Anthony. We're going to go fuel tank. And we're going to add...
Looks reasonable.
Yeah. Maybe a bit much. I'm trying to think of adding something on the outside of it that will help us get there.
I mean, you could, in theory, instead of adding it on the outside like you're thinking, you could even stack it underneath it and make the whole rocket, like, taller. Like those, pull off the engines, put those underneath.
What have I done?
Yeah, you kind of messed that up. Pull those off, pull the engines off. Now add the fuel tanks back, and then put the engines back.
So
and
this
now,
just adds
and now it has more fuel.
Okay, more fuel, and it's, I don't know, I feel like that's just better for thermodynamics.
Science.
Thermodynamics, Jesus. Listen to me try to sound like a smart science guy.
So one thing I'll say, though, is that those engines, currently they're just kind of set on the body a little bit. You should go to structural.
All right.
And then you should structural.
Oh, my bad.
And then you should click the strut button here.
Oh, so this is what you were using to connect these things to keep them stable.
Right.
During
So,
flight.
yeah. So
because it'll shake a lot,
It'll
right?
shake, yeah.
Okay, so we want these guys.
Yeah, and it, like I said, you have it set up for symmetry right now.
Oh. I guess I have to select that again, huh? Where were these?
Whatever. Put them wherever you want.
This is my dream. Why aren't you working?
Hold on, rotate a little bit more.
Try this again.
I think part of the problem is that the you know what? Hold on. You can always hit Control Z.
Will that just undo?
Yes. Hold on 1 second.
Control Z like a crazy person. Nope. We're committed now.
That's weird. It should actually undo it. Hold on. Let's see. I don't know why that's not.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, it just didn't like that you had the rocket preschool.
So I guess I just have to select.
Yes, you have to select each one because every time you're adding a new strut.
Yes. Okay, that makes sense.
So you probably only need a couple because, like I said, it's already doing the symmetry.
Yeah.
So at this point, that rocket
pretty good, Anthony.
That rocket could launch. The one thing you always have to pay attention to for any would-be rocket builders on the bottom right, your staging is really important.
Okay.
So in this case, you have it set to where all 4 engines are going to fire at once.
Oh, I don't want that.
Then on this single stage, it's going to both decouple and ignite the parachute,
oh my God.
which you don't necessarily want.
I don't even know what. Oh, okay.
So how do you want it to work? And I'll help you learn how to do that.
So when we kick off, oh boy. When we launch,
Mm-hmm.
let's use these 3.
Okay. So click the plus button.
Down here?
Yeah.
Okay.
And move the 3 thrusters into that.
Is that these 3?
Well, if you highlight over each one, it'll show you which ones they are.
Oh, okay, I see. Oh, what
so
about
drag it. Drag it down to there. And now find the third one of those. Yeah, there you go. And drag.
All right, okay, that's pretty simple.
So those 3, and then after that, it'll switch to that one when you hit spacebar to go through each stage. But
gotcha.
You never actually want your decouple and your parachute to occur on the same one, so click plus again up there.
Up here?
Yep, and just move the decoupler. So yeah, it's going to go from bottom to top.
So so these stages, this is my first one here down at 3, so I'm going to use these 3 propulsion
and then you're going to switch to the middle one.
burst those out. Okay.
And then when you're done, you'll decouple, and then eventually, when you're
We're
ready,
gonna parachute
you'll
to the
deploy your
moon.
parachute.
This is gonna be great, Anthony. My first run, I'm gonna make it to the moon.
So your last most important thing is that you got to name it.
Oh man.
I feel like we should name it after our editor-in-chief. Yeah, there we go.
I love it. Godspeed, USC Steve Butts.
And so I just need you. And so when you're ready,
yep.
You just click
do
launch.
Do we save, or we're committing to this?
Well, it'll do an autosave. So just
okay. So we're gonna launch, and the real Steve Butts is joined to watch his maiden voyage.
So
I've clicked launch. Is this loading in?
It's loading, yeah.
All right.
And so it doesn't autosave your ship because at any given time when it fails, you can always reload and relaunch.
All right.
So
here we are.
Okay, so before you launch, remember that the WASD keys control like your
right. I forgot I actually have to fly this thing.
Right. So WASD keys control pitch and yaw, and then you Q and E will control your rotation.
Okay, that's
and so you hold shift to throttle up, and then
that's my charge up. I'm gonna have to wait till it's at the top.
And then now when you hit spacebar, each time you hit spacebar, it'll take you through each of your stages.
All right. So I only have to tap it, right? I don't have to hold it.
You're gonna tap it one time right now.
I'm gonna tap space. Are we ready?
Rockets, but you are gonna.
Let's go.
Okay. So just.
Can I let go of shift?
You can let go of shift.
I'm gonna let go of shift.
But you do need to watch your nose a little bit.
So we're looking for what shakes?
You can see like how fast you're burning through this field.
Yeah. And I want to get rid of it. This is getting burning hot.
Yeah, that's fine though.
All right.
I mean, the rocket has really good elevation rise because the hardest thing is that, you know, in the earlier parts of the atmosphere, you're fighting against the atmosphere.
Oh.
You do need to watch your nose a little bit.
What's happening?
So,
how do I fight?
Try and keep it. Try and keep that in the center.
Oh, okay. That's. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, this could be going a lot better than it is.
Yeah, that's true. So as soon as those rockets stop firing, you're gonna hit.
Oh my!
You're gonna hit spacebar.
Anthony.
You're gonna hit spacebar again to ignite that. There you go.
Steve, I'm sorry.
So if you ever need to kill a thruster because things are out of control and you want to try and get under control, you can hit X to immediately kill it.
Hang on. No, we're gonna. Did that just turn it off?
Yeah. And then you can throttle up from there if you can try and get under control. But I'm just telling you right now, that's not going to happen.
No,
so you might as well just fire it like a missile.
Why are you trying to stomp on my dreams?
Full throttle. Oh, okay. So what happened?
Oh, I just discharged.
Yeah, you mashed spacebar. You decoupled.
Oh, I'm shooting down.
And
this is definitely going to save our life.
This is actually bad because what's happened is you've deployed your parachute. So right now, force is the only thing holding you against this rocket body right now.
Yeah.
It's trying to decouple.
Okay.
But you deployed.
So because we're going too fast, it's actually hanging on.
Right. So you can see your airspeed here in the center. You're at a high enough airspeed that, in all likelihood, that parachute's going to rip free from the body. Like, what's this guy's name? Jebediah Kerman? Yeah, he's going to die. He just hasn't figured it out yet.
Sorry. This isn't what I wanted. For anybody.
It's trying to rip apart.
Oh, God. What if he can make it?
Just hit X real quick.
No.
Kill the thrust.
All right.
Maybe it'll decouple.
Nope. I think. Yes.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I forgot that you can't actually do that because you've decoupled and lost control.
I was not in control. Oh, look at it go.
Yeah. That's, well.
Oh, man. The USC Steve Butts. Down it goes.
Yeah. It'll detonate here in a little bit, though.
What's Jebediah's situation here?
Well, he's pretty happy, but
yeah. Well, he doesn't. He's really stoked. Does he know what's in store for him here? This parachute does not seem to be doing very well for him.
If it's going to tear or deploy, it will do so in the last 400 meters or so.
All right.
Because you deployed it so early.
I mean, we're in the last 100.
Okay, so the ship just crashed. That's what we just heard. That's why all the debris is on the ground.
Okay.
But your airspeed is within. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Deployed. I cannot.
He might make it.
No, you're fine. I can't believe that worked.
I'm telling you, you're sitting here trying to smash my dreams into pieces.
I'll speed up time just a little bit. Click
right.
OK.
I'm gonna click OK.
Just so we can.
There we go. Time warp.
Get down to the ground during the slow part of the drift. Yeah, this takes a while sometimes.
Yeah. But he's gonna be okay. Look, he's not even that far from his stuff.
No, he's fine. You're at 6.1 meters to second to the ground. As long as you're within 10, you're not gonna die. So, you've succeeded. Yes, and now you can go EVA. So hit space to let go.
Yeah, Jebediah is out in the free world. He's a free man.
He lived.
We did it.
I mean, in a way, as far as the first launch goes, that's pretty successful.
I'm just really happy Jebediah is okay. Good metaphor for Steve's career, if you didn't hear that, which is amazing.
But yeah, you made it.
I did.
So,
oh, man. He has a hard time standing up in this suit.
Well, have you ever seen spaceman suits? They're gigantic and bulky.
Look at how happy he is to be alive today, Anthony. It's a good day for Jebediah.
So you can hit escape at any time, hit end flight. And then from there, you actually get a breakdown of exactly
so we
where
lifted
things
off.
went wrong.
Yeah. Well,
So
and they
at
did go wrong.
specific times.
So it took us 2.5 minutes for the fuel engine to crash into the terrain. Oh, that was the first one I let go of. So that one was okay.
Yeah, I mean, you did, like, the rocket had really excellent lift.
Okay.
It's just that, there are things that you could do better.
Yeah. All right.
So if you
let's
go to vehicle symbol building.
So with this rocket, without rebuilding the entire thing, let's
Right.
say that we want to stick to my dreams really
and make it
hardcore.
more efficient.
Right. How do we improve this rocket?
Okay. So what you would do is, instead of having these 3 directly connected to the body, pull it off real quick. Just click the rocket and just set it aside. You would go to structural, and then you would click on a radial decoupler.
Okay.
And so now you
so this extends them out a little bit.
Right.
Okay.
So then attach that to the body where you want it to go, and then now attach those rockets, and they're extended out, which looks a little. Oh, there you go. Now,
Whoa.
what this is going to do is, since you were burning this middle rocket after you burnt the outside 3, which meant the outside 3 were out of fuel.
Yeah.
This allows you to decouple them and get rid of them, so
Sure.
that they're no longer, wasting drag on your rocket
Right.
and adding weight after they're no longer thrusting.
Okay.
It effectively allows you to stage it to where eventually, as the rocket gets higher, you're reducing your weight as you go.
Okay. Do I need to add one of these bars here just to stabilize these?
Nope.
Okay.
But if you wanted to try fire it one last time,
I do.
here, I'm just going to do one quick thing from Mitch real quick. So you just have to make sure that your staging is right.
So you're
because
moving those 3 rockets. Or
these 3 decouplers. Because right now, the way that it was, if you paid attention originally, was that it was going to decouple right as it ignited them. You were going to launch 3 missiles away from your body. But now, if we launch this like this, you'll be able to fire the rocket.
All right, so stage 1 here, which is actually stage 4. So the first thing we're going to do is launch these.
The 3 rockets.
The 3 rockets.
Right.
When we do
After those burn out,
we're
going to
hit space. We're gonna let them go.
Right. And
Those
then you're
3.
going to hit spacebar again
launch
to
this
ignite the
big-
center booster.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's do it.
Okay.
Round 2. My man. Let's bring him back. Is it the same pilot?
Jebediah.
Yeah, Jebediah Kerman, back for round 2. He's just so happy to be alive. He
So-
rebuilt his ship, and he's going back out there.
Your rocket's perfectly symmetrical, which is why it can kind of just sit on the launch pad on its own. Normally, you would
Wouldn't
have
normally
to
topple over if it was. Okay.
you would have to build like a special holder for it.
That's kind of amazing.
So,
I love the idea that you could just propel like this, just
it's,
straight off the ground.
uh,
All right. So this thing is 76 meters tall. We're cranking up. We're going for it. And spacebar.
like I said, really great lift, but you are going to have to watch
Oh
the
my
steering
God.
a little bit.
Look at that already.
Yeah. With the rockets a little bit farther away from the body, I think it's going to probably pull a little bit more. Now, I haven't even introduced Mitch to the idea of SAS, which I know that people that are familiar with the game will be like, why are you not... Like, normally you wouldn't even control this part
I'm
yourself.
trying to figure out the WASD
You would
here.
let... Just think of it as you need to move right. Oh, but you
Well,
moved far to the
okay.
right. Well,
We may have to just relaunch this.
well, if you decouple,
No, I
you'll
got
launch
this.
those
Look at this
3,
recovery. Look
you'll-
at this recovery. Look at ready? You ready for this?
that's actually not the worst recovery I've ever seen. Well, you've basically made a VTOL at this point.
Oh boy. Here we go. Get rid
Okay,
of
so you
those.
just decoupled those like missiles. You can now ignite your center booster.
And away we go. Spacebound. Is it relative to where I'm looking, or is WASD always just like my W is
Just look at
always
that. It's
going?
always W's up, left.
So I'm just
right.
fighting against this thing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, right
Oh,
now
boy.
it's
Let's turn that off for a little bit. So I'm just this rotating pod in the middle of Earth.
yeah. You've made a hardcore surface-to-air missile.
Yeah. Oh man.
Everyone in that flight program down there, including your like little clone wife, is freaking out. But Jebediah is so happy.
He just loves space travel so much. When should I deploy?
I typically deploy my parachute around 1,000 meters.
All right, we'll try that. Jebediah though, he's pretty high off that last one. He's playing with fire. He's gonna wait till 8. Oh boy.
So no, you're fine. See,
All right,
and
he's
you
good.
just slowed down to 6. So
Jebediah Kerman is invincible.
yeah, you've done pretty well with him so far. That's a decent look at.
Can I look in there?
You can actually make him go extravehicular as he comes down. As long as you don't hit spacebar to detach, he'll just hang on to the ladder outside.
You lied to me! Anthony! Jebediah is going down! Why? Why would you... What have you done?
I'm so sorry.
Anthony!
See if he can get up. Maybe he's not dead.
Maybe he's not dead. He's... What?
In the Kerbal universe, by the way,
He's
Mitch,
alive.
the only way they can die at this point is from explosions. They literally can't be.
Oh my God!
If they don't blow up or come in like too hot, they'll live. So
I
he's
was
fine.
so scared he was dead for sure.
No. He's basically the Highlander.
Uh oh. Where is that? Oh, it's like way up there.
Yeah.
He's booking it away. He's done enough of that one already.
So that's kind of a look at that. Let's just end the flight real quick.
Right,
I just want to,
right.
before we go, I mean, obviously we're going to do more of these. My goal is to teach.
This was a good first lesson.
Yeah, I want to teach Mitch how to get to the moon, is basically the idea. So the U.S. Steve Butts, we'll save that for adaptation later on. You know, not a terrible first rocket, but even if you load some of the pre-made ones they have here, you can really see how elaborate they get. Like the Kerbal X is the best kind of pre-made one they have.
Oh my God.
And so this one's,
It's got like staging platforms at the beginning there.
Exactly.
Bunch of rockets.
This one
thing's
doesn't
huge.
take off the ground. This one, you know, thrusts and then releases.
Okay.
Several rockets, which
Wow.
are using an
It
advanced.
shoots. So looking at the side here, it shoots forward, decouples.
Shoots six.
Six.
All 6 of these rockets fire, but it decouples
Wow.
2 at a time.
Oh wow.
On what's called asparagus staging, before eventually getting to the center, the gigantic center rocket. And then this one actually has a lander with full-on
Oh, wow.
landing gears and gigantic ladder
I
for
can't.
them to get off. So there's a
I'm
lot more
still,
to this.
I'm still really torn up about you ejecting Jebediah.
I actually thought that would be fine, but what I didn't pay enough attention to was the
I don't have a ladder.
was the airspeed outside of the thing.
Oh,
I think
so he was just ripped
he
out.
got pulled. He was like, "I'm gonna hang on to the ladder," and the wind just ripped him away from it.
Oh my God! Had he died, I never would have forgiven you.
Yeah,
We would have never spoken again.
I know. I had a brief moment where my heart stopped, but that's our initial look at Kerbal Space Program as we teach Mitch to play. Next time, we're gonna teach Mitch about asparagus staging and obtaining orbit. That's the goal.
Orbit. I'm excited.
So, for a lot more on Kerbal Space Program in the future, you can go to IGN.